You're there. Hi.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you
having me.
very much. Thanks for talking to me. Thanks for talking
Yeah,
to RunUltra.
no
How are
worries, no
you doing?
worries. Yeah, good, good. It's exciting times, very busy, as you can
Yes.
probably guess. It's chucking it down with rain up here on the west coast, so
Well, it is
I'm
everywhere,
ho
isn't it? It's just horrible.
yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be a bit dry for next week because historically we've had beautiful sunshine, but we've had rain for about 5 weeks solid, so
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it so you got is it the third running of the Highland Kings
Yes,
next
yes.
weekend?
Third event, runners arrive next Friday through till Tuesday. Last race on the Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the format you're offering this year? How many days?
So it's full format, 4 days. Arrive on the Friday, race Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and depart on the Wednesday.
Okay. I mean, the first question I have for you is why?
Well,
Why? Why the luxury? What made you think of it? And yeah, why?
yeah, no, I get asked that a lot. It's a great question. So we've been running events and endurance type events for about 10 years now, and early on in the process, we started through kind of the corporate world. We got bespoke requests for events where people wanted to come into the world, but they didn't want to rough it. They liked the idea of it, but didn't want to spend any length of time there. So we would take them from nice places, take them out in the wild, and then bring them back. And then that grew into longer distances, whether we're in either nice bell tents or a nice venue, but they would still push themselves physically each day. And we'd done a couple, and at the end of it, it was a big event. We were all burst, and we were like, "Wow, that was amazing!" But we just got thinking, like, no one's doing this. No one's catering for these type of people. So we looked into it more, and there's something like nearly 200,000 ultra races, multi-day ultra races around the world, and no one's kind of going against the grain and offering something different, which is what we do. Um, and we've kind of proven there is a market for it. We're only getting into our third year, so it's still quite early days, and we are testing and adjusting and listening to what people want. And from the first event we've done, it has changed quite a bit. Um, so yeah, happy to chat a bit more about
Okay. What I mean, does this stem from your experience in the army? I mean, who 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 are your clientele?
Yeah, so I served 22 years. I served with the paras, I served with commandos, I served with special forces for 6 years. I went to Macedonia, Kosovo, Bosnia, Sierra Leone, Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Royal Air Force were always in nice hotels or accommodation, and we were like in holes in the ground or somewhere else. And I was like, it gets to a point where you just get fed up, roughing it, and kind of it's like, yeah, you can do it. You can still function. It's part of the camaraderie. It's part of being in that environment, and everyone's suffering the same, and that's great. Um, but when you bring that across to something like Highland Kings, people, they still want to push themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, still want that challenge, but they don't want to share a tent with other people. They don't want to have to think about cooking their dehydrated rations when they get back in and getting water and sorting stuff out and um, maybe want a massage. They maybe want someone to kind of give them that bit of support there, and that's what we offer. And we find it's open to everyone. Initially our first year around it was quite out there, and the price ticket was quite ambitious, but we managed to make it fly. And then we listened to our audience, and they were like, "Look, we don't really need the 6 month build up with the world's elite runners. We don't really need all this extra kit. We just want to come and run, and we want to be looked after. We want nice food. It doesn't need to be mission level, just good, wholesome, nutritional food that's well cooked and well presented. And we'd like a massage, we'd like a nice bed to sleep in, and we
Mm.
still push yourself and do 30 or 50 mile or whatever it is a day. And so we've changed it. We've changed this so that it is more accessible for people. And next year it's 3 days. It's 110 mile over 3 days. So there's a 30 miler, a 50 miler in one day. So it's like two events effectively. And then you've got um, two 30 milers, which is a 60 miler. We called it the Warrior Queen because we got a lot of requests. So is this just open for guys because it's Highland King? And we've got quite a lot of interest for the kind of Warrior Weekend, because we find that taking 5 days out your work life, for an event like that is a big ask. But a weekend is obviously more doable, as is a day. But
Mm.
still keep the aspect in there with, pushing into the third day, having the opportunity to upgrade to single bell tents as opposed to shared, having massage, having, rather than being the runners being self-supported, they can have nutritional food and catering for them. If they want to go for the full package, they can upgrade to we call it the Kings Estate, which is the 5-star estate house, which is basically got everything. And yeah, there's butlers there, and it sounds crazy, but it works. It just works. People rock up and they're like, "Wow, there's a guy there or a woman there who's giving them everything that they need, and giving them that support." Um, and it helps, really does help mentally, because it's one less thing to think about.
Yeah.
And people, it doesn't really, because it's such a great community of people that come together. They're not like, oh, he's in a house and we're in a tent. Everyone knows what they're signing up for, and when they're on the start line, everyone's on the start line together.
Mm.
Okay, everyone's maybe had a great night's sleep and maybe had a massage or what, but you're all going to still run the same distance. And it just gives people that, they're more
Options.
physically, mentally prepared for the challenges ahead. And so
Mm.
no one else is doing that. I think that's a unique concept, and we're quite proud of it, and we're driving it forward. And we speak to a lot of runners and influencers, and they're like, what, fair play. You got a lot of stick for the first year, and we really did. And to the point, it was about 6 months of like putting out fires. And people were up in arms, and it's like, we've made this work, and we're going to keep flying the flag and keep charging forward. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll come back to that, but I'm also really interested in just as actually logistically for you as the race director, it must be harder and require a lot more planning, particularly if people are having individual accommodation and are you running around like blue ass flies getting everything ready, or I mean, I suppose they all come back to the same base, don't they? So you're
Yeah,
not
they do. They
moving.
do from now. They do from now on, because first year nearly killed us. We went from Glencoe to the Isle of Arran, and we had two camps, two luxury camps, leapfrogging essentially. And you know, all the people helping were most of them were ex-veterans, military veterans who had operational experience, and they were like, "Matt, we'd rather be back in Afghanistan than doing this. This is one of the worst things."
That's not great.
Yeah, we're going to tour, sleep at night. So we changed the concept, and everything's in Darness. It's a beautiful location in the heart of Glencoe, and they go out and do 3 circular routes and come back. We've got a really cool race on the last day. It's called the Challenge Day, and something that's close to my heart is veterans and mental health for veterans, and we do a lot for them. And so we raise funds through military charities, and they can come and run as the 4-man team for a charity of their choice, and compete against other military teams and the runners on Highland Kings. So that's quite cool. That works really well.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep doing that. But sorry, I keep going off on tangents. You ask me a question and I forget what you've asked.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. Well, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, the logistics, it's any multi-day event has to have
Sorry, the logistics. Yeah,
military
logistics.
military planning, doesn't it? I mean, to
Yeah.
But I mean, it does sound like you've learned a lot from that first event.
Yeah,
And then
100%.
sort of having a central base does make it a lot simpler, doesn't it, to come back
Yeah,
to? But
yeah, yeah.
presumably all the three loops, they're all different, so every day is still different for the runners.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's still, over 5,000 meters of ascent. It's what's that? It's about 800 meters short of Kilimanjaro or something like that. Um, so it's still very arduous, and there's a lot of ascent on there. But the logistics is a key part of it, and that's what makes it niche.
Mm.
Having all those kind of little additional add-ons do make a difference, and ultimately that's what the price point is all about. It's a little bit higher than your average race, but that's you're paying for that additional value, and it's not for everyone, but there is a lot of people out there who are like,
Mm.
you know what, I've done Marathon des Sables, I've done other multi-day races where I'm staying in tents with strangers, and I know by the end of it they're all pals, and that's great and that's part of the race. It's just not for some people, or they've done it and they're still pushing into their 60s, 70s, and they're like, you know what, I just want a wee bit of TLC and I still want to challenge myself, and that's what we offer. So
Yeah, I,
yeah.
I get that, definitely. Definitely, yeah. A bed and a massage. That's you can't go wrong with that. So let me circle back then to your first year. Um, as we've said, you've learned a lot from there, and one of those is the sort of sustainability. And you got some flack for some course marking. Um, Now you mentioned some of the flack started actually while the race was still in progress. Um,
Yeah, that's right.
so
We on our last day we had firstly we used biodegradable chalk spray paint, which wasn't the best to use. We used an external agency. I'll take full responsibility, and it shouldn't have happened. But literally on the last day, people were taking pictures of the markings, and they were going live on Twitter. And before it had even finished the race, we didn't even have a chance to clean it up. It had pretty much gone viral, and within I think the following day, the BBC were landing on or coming over, and like it was in the papers and everything. So within a couple of days, all of that was gone. That was always our intention to clear it up. Um, but the damage had already been done. So we were kind of just putting out fires for 6 months and apologising. And we learned a viable, well, a hard lesson, never to use biodegradable chalk spray paint again.
I
And
take it it's not biodegradable then? I mean, what is actually wrong with it?
it is biodegradable. It's you just you need like rain to get it off, and so if there's no rain, it would take a bit of time, and that was the kind of steep learning curve for us. So we always had in place teams to go up and clean it off, and it was off within 3 days. Um, but when you still had runners on the hill and people taking pictures and putting it out there, it was the damage had already been done.
Mm,
So
mm.
yeah, we were kind of caught in the back foot. But
What?
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, there's obviously you are running in an ecologically sensitive area. What other factors do you take into account when sort of looking after that whole beautiful Glencoe?
yeah. Well, we were always working close with the National Trust for Scotland. We still do, even closer still, because they need to give us the green light and the approval for us to actually do the race. Nature Scot also in certain areas. So to get the clearances and get the approvals, you have to work closely with councils and these governing bodies who make sure, and you have to prove to them that all your policies and your plans are in place. So we work closely with them. Sits especially in the heart of Glencoe by the Three Sisters going through the valley. That is a very very special part of Scotland, and it's very heavily populated with tourism. So you can't just have 100 people running up there. So it's down to like the colour of the flags and the biodiversity, so it doesn't affect the bees. we're in lengthy discussions with them every year. We work closely with the community and local school groups. We're getting them up to another side of our company is kind of wilderness living skills, is taking them out into the environment, how they appreciate the natural environment. We ask our runners to donate to the Glencoe footpath once they book on. We use local produce, like venison and beef for our cooking to help local farmers.
Mm.
Our race is quite small in numbers, so there's a low foot impact, and we ask everyone if they can get to Glasgow Airport, we'll pick them up. So there's kind of lower emissions on the driving and getting people up to Dalhousie Estate. And we work with approved providers like Teco Socks, and they use all sustainable products for
Yeah.
the socks that you use. So we really are working hard to
That sounds great.
yeah, to work.
What is the estate? Is it a private estate that you sort of take over, or is it a hotel, or?
No, it's a private estate. It's tucked away at the back of Buccleuch Moor, and if you go up to Glencoe and you've got the King's House Hotel on the right, you go down left. It's where the James Bond movie Skyfall was filmed. There's an iconic picture of him stood by his car looking out to the bridge. But you go further down that road and it's down there, but it's kind of hidden in the trees. It's really nice. That's how they like it. It's that kind of private.
Mm.
I live in Scotland and I go there and I'm still blown away. People come from around the world and they're like, wow, this is amazing. And then the next day they're on top of Monrose and they're like, wow, this is, maybe not so cheery, but they're still, the views are worth it.
Yeah. How many runners have you got next week?
We've got on the challenge day, we've got about 60, and we've got about 20 on the kind of whole Kings package slash different event, different multi stages of the race. So yeah, we're quite excited about that. It's it takes a while to get there, because it's off after the first year. Like I said, we were kind of on the back foot, so our marketing took a hit, and then last year was a bit of a scaled back version. So this is where we should have been last year, effectively.
Mm.
And we're really excited about the new packages. So the kind of Queen's package, the weekend package, and like we've got Highlander Warriors. This is like 1 day 30, 50 milers. And they seem to be getting some good traction. So we're looking forward to seeing how that plans out. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel ready?
Well, yeah, that's as ready as I'm ever going to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great. As things. That's what I meant to say. I was trying to find it when I lost it, but it's never going to be perfect. We're always going to be testing and adjusting, and we always listen to our runners and say, no, we don't need that. And who knows? A couple of 10 years or whatever it is, it might just be like people just been all just like people all be like self-sustaining. People just rock up and self-supported, and it's might not be a thing at all. And I think there will always be a need for people who want a wee bit of TLC and looked after. That's we're going against the grain. It's something totally different, and it's ruffled a lot of feathers, but there's a market for it, and so yeah, we'll continue waving the flag. And
well, you're definitely you're adapting and you're flexible and you obviously listen to your runners. I'm trying to remember from that first. I remember from your first race. Are you not giving out free watches anymore? Darn it!
yeah,
I need a new Garmin.
yeah. Well, you kind pay for it, but you can have one. I'll give you one. Give you a watch.
And I
Careful
think
of it.
I think you said entries are now open for next year.
Yes, yeah, they are. We've mixed it up. So the 30 mile and 50 mile is 1 day event on the Saturdays. Sundays, the additional Queen's package, there's another 30 miler on there. And then so each day is effectively like a 30 mile apart from the Saturdays a 50, and then you've got the challenge day on the Monday. So that's bringing together the kind of serving community, like NHS, government services. And then kind of aspirations as far as maybe to do a different Highland Kings variation of maybe an adventure race or something like that, you know. So, um, you know, it's still that kind of USP kind of high level, but it's something again a wee bit different. So that's
You're going to
something.
make them kayak somewhere as well then?
Yeah, maybe some kayaks, maybe some bikes, and then because you know a lot of the stuff we do in the background that's non-Highland Kings is the education piece on the kind of wilderness living and survival skills, and we also do expeditions.
Okay.
So it's that education piece. So you know, if we bring in that to the party as well, and it's kind of bread and butter for us
Mm.
anyway, and make something a little bit different. Because I mean, there is thousands of ultra races out there, but
Mm.
without diluting the brand, we could just have two different things. But yeah, it's a long process. It's not going to happen overnight. You know, you're always testing and adjusting and learning as you go. And we've learned some hard lessons. Um, but yeah, hopefully, touch wood, we're still here. Yeah, still cracking on.
Yeah. Well, it sounds amazing. Um, yeah, best of luck for next weekend.
Thank you.
Send us some pictures.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Let us
Yeah,
know how you get on,
I'll get
and
you on it. I'll get you
thank
on it
you
next
for
year.
thank you for sharing everything with me.
No worries. It's been a pleasure. Cheers, Kate. Thanks.